You can click on advanced and it's going to start filling in this log level here. I don't have too much going on, so it's not going to do too much. The WebNet, like I said before, we've gotten rid of the historic. It is now connected with the real time. So as long as you've got these first two, the DSE WebNet and the real time, you're good to go. This historic over real time is just going to be all zeroed out like this. So this is what it will look like when it is working correctly. So if you see this 0.0.0.0, don't worry about it. Everything is still working the way it's supposed to be working, as long as you've got these first two green check marks here. You've got your MQTT. If it's active, it'll show, how many topics are being published, all that fun stuff. And then your GSM, if you're connected, what kind of cellular signal you've got. Since mine's turned off right now, since I'm on Ethernet only, it's not used. If I turn that on, it would then spit out an IP address here by AT&T or whoever that SIM card connects to. Uh, this will show you your GPS location. If you've got your uh, antenna out in the open, you should be able to see how many bars of signal you've got, number of satellites that are giving you your position, so on and so forth. And then this will show you the status of your IO that's on it, and then your comms. So you can see, I'm sending and receiving across a TCP via Ethernet. Anybody got any questions on the 890 configuration? Okay. All right, so back here to WebNet, what we're going to do is we're going to come back here. This is the cog wheel here. You can click on that. That's going to take you to this, and we're going to go to event triggers here. So this is where you're going to set up your event triggers. You click that plus button. You're going to you've got alarm on the module, ECU codes, instruments, digital inputs, digital outputs, or predefined events. So this one we can do an instrument. We'll click OK. I'm going to select a module variant. I've got the 8600, and what I'm going to do is we will do low fuel level. And I'm going to find, where is it at? And there's my fuel level here. So if I'm less than 25% and I come back at 75%, I'll get an email. I don't get SMS. I'll have an email. Don't need to worry about the phone number. And then make sure we click on modules, and we're going to select our two generators, and then we'll click save. So now we've got this right here. You can see we can click on the history. There's nothing in the history here. You can enable it, or you can check it and you can disable it so you don't have to delete it, or you can click on that X and re-enable it as well. You got your edit button, which would then just take you back in here where you can re-edit your event trigger, or you can delete it. So now what I can do is I will come back over here and we'll go to Gen 1 here. And what I will do is I'll show you, I can take this fuel level and you can see it slowly coming down. I've got an event trigger here for fuel low level. And then what I'll do is I'll turn this back up and come back past 75%. So I'm at 77. It'll take it a second just to catch back up. And now I can actually go back in here and event triggers, and I can run the history on that. And now you can see it got activated. I got an email sent to me, and then that was reset by itself because I had the reset code or reset level set. So you can look at the history. You can see when it was sent out, all that fun stuff. So we come back here. So that's event triggers. So again, you'll come back here. You can add that. You're going to select an item. You can do an alarm, ECU code, instrument, digital input, digital output, predefined events. You can do predefined events here as well on these controllers. And you can do restart, mains fail, fuel remaining. These are all the predefined events. So you can select one of these options and it would notify you anytime this event happens. Reports, we can generate reports here. So you would click add, you would name this, I'll just name it as a test report. You're going to select a report type. You can do engine hours, you can do events, instruments, location if it got moved, instrument snapshots. So let's do an instrument module variant. Again, you're going to select whatever module you want. And then these are all the different instruments. So let's do a battery voltage. You can do CSV, PDF, XML, XL. I usually do the PDF. You can select a time zone. So you would select whatever time zone you're in, and then you would put in your email for it to send to. And then you got a notification group as well. You can schedule this. You can do it once, hourly, daily, weekly, monthly. So let's say we do it weekly here. It's then going to kick out a schedule. You can do it on any day of the week, and then you would choose a time here as well. So 9 a.m. there. And that's going to be next due on today at 9 a.m. And then it'll be since last run in the time frame or within the last, and then you would click OK there, and then make sure you select your modules. And now you've got this report here. Same thing, you've got a history. You can edit it, you can delete it. I can click run now, and it would then since last run, and then it's been queued and it'll email you shortly. Sometimes it takes it a little bit of time in order to get back to you. Oh. All right, so that is that. And now I can come over here to the history. Since I clicked on run now, you can see it did, and you can download this report and you can look at it and see what it looks like. And it just says when it was generated. Of course, there's no data since I just created this report. But if there was data, it would then give you a list of whatever data you requested. So you can see what that report would look like in a PDF format. All right. Come on. Close out. So there's that. All right. So let's go back. And the last thing is if you're having connection issues on what we want to do for that. So what we would do with the connection, you would go out to your 890. If the link light's not turning green, if you're not connecting, stuff like that, you're going to come in, you're going to click on advanced. You're going to get this thing to fill in here. Uh, we ask for at least a good 15 to 20 minutes of time gone by just so we can get a full, detail of what's going on. Once you've had this filling in for a good 20 minutes, you can then go over to your configuration, your file system, and then you've got this debug info. You're going to click on export, and it's going to export that JSON file. And then what we do is we would then get that file, we would open it up, and we can actually see what's going on with your 890 at the time. It's a lot of information to go on, but you can see it's got, what the model is, what version you're running, what the USB ID number is, all that fun information. And then we can comb through this information and kind of see what's going on to kind of help you out and get your um, 890 reporting the way it should be reporting. So again, you're going to come to network, make sure you've got the advanced click, let it run for about 20 minutes, go to configuration file system, and then just hit that export button, save that and email that into us so that way we can see what is going on at that time with your 890. Um, so that's now to change templates. So you can see this is a very basic template here. What we'll do is we can come up to this widget template. We can click on that. This is going to give me a global. Um, what you're going to do is we'll do test and we're going to select a module variant. We have the 8600. So we're going to select that, copy an existing, and I'm going to do the 8600 multiset mode. I'll click OK. Now this is just the standard stuff. What we can do is we can click on that cog gear that brings up all the other icons. I can bring another dial over here, drop that down, click on it to where it turns blue. And then we can change the name of this to test. I'm going to leave the size alone. You've got large ammeter, you've got rev counter, and you've got a small gauge that you can select from. And then these are all the different uh, senders that you're connected to that you can deal with. So you've got generator, voltages, currents, power factors, you got mains, maintenance alarms, all that fun stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a battery voltage right here, and then I'll label it battery voltage. And then what we do is we're going to save this, and I'm going to just save it as a user because I don't want to send this out to everybody. So I will click save. So now what I can do is I can come back over here to WebNet. I can go into my generator, and now you've got this user template here. You can actually select which one you're looking at, and this is the user template that we just did the test. And now you can see it added in that battery voltage onto my generator page. So now I don't have to go over and look at my engine page to get my battery voltage. So you can make these things look however you want by using this widget template. It's 100% customizable. You can do anything you want with it. You can get rid of these buttons down here, all that fun stuff. And then the last thing that we'll go over is we'll come back in here to the admin section. You can go to admin tab, and this is where you can add users. And you can add groups. All right. So you can add a group of people here. You can create this new group. We'll do this as a test. And this is only if you're an organization. You can select whatever users you want, what gateways, and then what modules. And then those individuals that you selected would only have access to those gateways and those modules off of your system. You can also add users here. You would click on the user tab, click add, and then you would choose, this should be blank. You would create their username for them, put in their first name, last name, email address, confirm it, put in a good phone number, make sure you've got that plus sign with a country code. You create a password for them, and then you can select a role as an administrator or a user, um, and then whatever organization that you want to choose as well, you can select that as well. So you can do that. Now, where you can come over to the roles, and this is where you would set up a new role for, like, if you're if you're a company and you want to give your technicians access to this, we'll label it as tech, and you would need to go through and give them access to whatever you want. So if you want them to access the widget editor, you can give them access to that, or you can take it away to where they can't access the widget editor, so they wouldn't be able to access this up here to the right. They can delete organizational templates, stuff like that. So The big one down here is to send